On April 23rd this year, Sivakumar, a resident of Vijayawada, was charging his brand new EV battery when it exploded, killing him instantly. The e-scooter was made by Boom Motors, an EV company based out of Coimbatore. In the same week on April 21st, an 80-year-old was killed due to a similar battery explosion. He was using an e-scooter made by Pure EV, a Hyderabad-based EV company. These are just two of the recent cases in which people have lost their lives when batteries on charge caught fire. In all these cases, the main problem was the battery pack. So what's causing them to catch fire and who's the culprit? The EV transition that the world has been looking forward to has been marred in India by the case of exploding batteries. All EVs are powered by lithium-ion batteries. These are the same batteries that are used in your smartphones, laptops, and many more gadgets. Lithium is one of the lightest metals and has a high electrochemical potential, which is why it is a preferred medium to power electric vehicles. Even though lithium-ion batteries have high energy density compared to other batteries, they come with a risk of catching fire. So, to manage and operate the battery, a battery management system or BMS is included in an EV. Every battery has a certain capacity to which it can supply current. Once this threshold is breached, the battery explodes. BMS is the safety layer of a battery. It controls current supply and keeps the battery safe. Similarly, BMS controls the flow of charge to the battery to prevent overcharging.
If you look at it, BMS having three components, main of the things. One is the measures the temperature, other measures the sensors, other measures the pressure of the any gases pumps, or another one is voltage measurement. So it measures the voltage and apply the current, whatever rate you want to charge the batteries. And based on the battery's health, so health also depends on if it's getting hot fast. So he changes the temperature. Based on that, he pushes less current to the battery, so that battery it gets equalized. The temperature distribution is equalized. So that way it controls every cells in a pack.
BMS in some sense is the complete brain of the battery pack itself, which decides how the battery should be used. What are the extreme limits within which it should be used is controlled by the BMS, and hence it is one of the safety layers you have on the battery, but it is not the ultimate layer. What if your BMS fails? Then you need an external protection circuit apart from the BMS, which is an additional layer, something like a fuse or an MCB. If it fails, at least the MCB will trip off. Just similar to your home, every appliance has a cutoff switch in itself, but still you have a central MCB, right?
But poor cell quality and shoddy battery design can lead to a reaction called micro-lithium dendrite growth. This has the potential to start a fire inside the battery pack.
It's not a mistake of the EV OEMs. The challenge is the batteries that they get, the cells ultimately come from China. Depending on other geographies, for cells to come in is like being blind with what you are putting on roads. There are so many cells that go in each vehicle. You have no idea what cell is coming here in India. And a lot of these geographies which supply China, etc., they have a preference of supplying good cells to Europe and US. India is like a second preference for a lot of them. So indigenization of cell is very important to become first independent from the dependency on China or other geographies for cells. The second is also control on quality.
In March and April, in a span of just 2 months, more than 30 EV scooters caught fire in India. Companies like Ola, Pure EV, and Okinawa have announced a recall of their e-scooters. But none of them have come out with a valid reason for the fire incidents. Nitin Gadkari, Minister of Road Transport and Highways of India, has urged the EV companies to look into the issue. He has halted the launch of new EV models. Also, companies that have seen at least one of their EVs catch fire will now have to recall all the vehicles in that batch. It's still early days for the EV industry in India. Sales have gained momentum in the last couple of years. In 2022, they grew more than 200% compared to the previous year. Consumers are slowly adapting to the EV ecosystem. There is a great trust on EV infrastructure like charging stations, swapping stations, and factories, but fire incidents like these deter customers from switching to EVs. If India were to speed up its transition to cleaner forms of mobility, the government would have to bring in stringent safety norms, standards, and awareness backed by research to boost the confidence of the consumers.